We're very well tied with financial institutions that we've been serving some almost 20 years now. So there's a strong level of trust, and it's very hard to sort of control the directions that the banks entrust us in doing. I mean, definitely there are cases where we simply say no. But in a lot of tangent spaces where the bank says, can you help us with this area? Can we link this to your solution? Or can you provide us with a greater visibility, say, when we're looking at AI or blockchain? We're working actively, we've been partnering actively with banks to really address their solutions and their needs as they go forward.
And now the question is, how do you sort of revamp your internal systems to be more agile? How do you work much better with data, not only for compliance reasons, but for economic reasons? Create new services, new solutions based on data. Data is a key driver here. And the innovators that I've been working with for the last 10 years have been primarily, the most successful ones have been those that actually know the industry very well. So they know the problem within a bank in different areas, and they started designing new technology-based solutions to address those problems very efficiently. So it really became a partnership journey.
We're moving increasingly into a greater strategic role with the financial institutions. And I think this is one also of the changing nature of the environment, is banks are increasingly willing to work strategically with fintechs, right? Banking IT departments, with all due respect, are not necessarily sufficiently funded or well geared to address requirements from a greater industry perspective. So it's much more efficient for a fintech player who's well embedded with financial institutions on a global basis to address these requirements. And for us, we're happy to be playing that role. And it's exhibited itself pretty much globally now.
I think traditionally Deutsche Bank, and I think most large banks, took a great deal of pride in building everything themselves. What's happened though is that the market is now evolving at an unprecedented rate. Right? Technology is coming in with an incredible speed and changing, creating opportunities that are rising and frankly closing in a very, very short time frame. So the notion of building it ourselves, developing the intellectual capital to build it ourselves effectively and efficiently is really no longer tenable. There's an enormous amount of intellectual capital right out here on these floors. And so the idea is, how do we work with these companies to make each other better? How can we import intellectual capital? How do we import different perspectives, different ways of looking at problems, and then figuring out how to make them work in our environment, right? And if we're able to do that, then we become a much more agile company. We become more able to adopt new technologies, to import new ideas, and to execute more rapid shifts in our strategy. We become much more able to pivot and to respond to shifts in market, shifts in regulatory changes, and of course, shifts in client demand.
So our portfolio is growing. I love the dynamism within the organization, within the solutions we're providing, within the services that the banks are asking us to provide. We're in a very sweet spot, and helping banks present more accurate, more relevant, and more efficient